Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 11th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today, well, we're taking issue with what else, of course? Parenting judgers. So, and actually something as we started this podcast, just before we started this podcast, I was reading a thread on Facebook, of course, and it was one mom who was complaining about people getting into the fast food lineup, the drive-through, and then a lot of people have been doing that lately, and the lines have been really long, and why don't they try going to a local restaurant instead? And, why are you eating fast food when you can support local?
Oh, wow, that took a turn.
Yeah. So there were a lot of comments, and it was somebody in our community.
They're aware that local people work at the fast food place, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that helps. But, just and so of course everybody was like, what? Why are you judging us? If we want Chick-fil-A, we're going to go to Chick-fil-A because it's a heck of a lot cheaper than going to Macaroni Grill or whatever, right?
Yes. And you can do both.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And we do.
Yeah. So,
but as the mom of somebody who works for Wendy's and is very, very happy that people are going there, shut up, lady.
Exactly. So speaking of parent judgers, getting back on track to our actual topic here. There was an article recently that was about being a strict parent called Am I the Only One? And it was essentially a mom saying, am I the only one who is saying no and setting limits for my teen? And so, it was definitely about her perspective and how she sets limits for her teens. But, of course, us being us, kind of felt that was a little judgy.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of like, well, is there another way to say that everyone else is doing it wrong and I'm doing it right? I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure that person has felt judged too, but two wrongs don't make a right, lady.
No, but why do people, I don't know. Maybe I'm judgy too, but I think I'm judgy in the right areas.
So you're judging those other judgers for not judging as well as you.
Exactly. They're not judging appropriately.
There's a way to judge people.
Exactly. But I don't think you can, anyway, yeah. Judging this is turning into a judging. Yeah, no, this is a judging conversation. Yes. Can we judge? But
it's just this article that we're talking about. It was on a publication called YourTeenMag.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the author was, the title is Strict Parent. Am I the only one saying no and setting limits for teens? And it's like, you could write about that in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're the only one who's doing it correctly and everyone else is messing up. You could write about,
even if that's what you feel.
I feel lonely, or I feel, that this is hard, because I agree, when you're parenting, especially a teen,
mm-hmm.
There's lots of different ways to do it, and everyone has their own way. But your parenting bumps up against other people's parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, if my daughter says, can I have these people over in the middle of a pandemic? I'm like, I don't know, And sometimes some of the things that either of my kids asked me to do, I'm thinking, well, are other people letting their kids do that?
Yeah.
Or, well, it must be X or Y. It must be okay with this other people's parents, so maybe I should allow it. But, you know, it's just becomes very, very complicated. And I think there's a way to write about that. Just being like, how do I negotiate these things? Without it turning into they're wrong and I'm right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not. I mean, when your parenting instincts are different than those of people around you, and then you're either, you know, I can't believe she lets her kid do that, or what a killjoy that person is. Won't let her kid have any fun.
Right.
But I haven't really dealt with much of that because, you know, raising kids with disabilities, their opportunities to do things that might be imprudent were greatly limited. And, you know, whenever my son gets together with friends, all the moms are there. So, you know, we go out to dinner for a birthday, all the moms are there. They come over to play games, all the moms are sitting in the living room right next to them. So, you know, for him, we were all at the same level of complete overprotection. So, cool. And with my daughter, I was always pushing her to do things, and she was going, nope, I say no to that. Nope. I'm not ready for that. No, I don't think so. And I'm like, sure, all the trombones are going to somebody's house and staying overnight and cleaning their trombones and everything. Don't you want to do that? Nope, pick me up. Pick me up at 11.
Wow.
I want to stay over. So I was like the bad mom saying, don't you want to get in a car with strangers and drive around and drink? So what was it like for you guys? Did you guys have situations like this where everybody else was saying yes and you were saying no, or vice versa? Or you said yes and people were going, I can't believe you let your kid do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have a different parenting style than a lot of our friends. We just, I grew up in a very strict environment, so I kind of know what it's like to be the child of a strict parent. And let me tell you that if you are a strict parent and you feel like it's doing your child good because they're complying, chances are they're also lying.
Nicole would like to burst your bubble.
Yeah. They become very good liars. And they're very good at sneaking around.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, having a strict parent really changed the way I parent my children. So we were usually the ones that were more, but not in a dangerous way. Like, we were not permissive in the sense like, yeah, bring your friends over and drink and get drunk and stuff. But just more like, okay, these are the boundaries. And I'm sure people judged us, like, you know, what are they doing kind of thing. But it worked for us. And I didn't know what the original question was. I just got off of my
She's lost in memories of her repressive childhood.
Venting of my, yeah. But if you want to be a strict parent, that's great. You do you. Just, you know, don't assume that everything is hunky-dory with your kids. Kids are kids.
Right, and don't assume that everyone else is doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My daughter has a friend who, you know, from our perspective, it seems like they're too strict with her and they're pushing her away, you know, with their grounding her constantly and things like that. And, you know, so she sneaks out and she, you know, she does things like, and my daughter's
coming to... Which end up being dangerous. They end up being dangerous half the time.
And like, you know, she had a thing where one of her, a boyfriend or an ex was, I mean, he was basically stalking her. Like it was not good. And she wasn't telling her parents because they were blaming her for it.
Oh.
You know, so that's really dangerous, like you said, Nicole. And, you know, my daughter's the one telling me this stuff. Like, like I don't understand why they're doing this, or, you know, I feel so bad for her or whatever. that's where I see strict parenting falling apart, you know.
And I think that traditionally strict parenting was viewed as the most optimal way to parent. You know, you had to set limits on your kids. You had to, you know, restrict them from things, obviously out of safety concerns, and, you know, you don't want them to be around things or seeing things or doing things. But at the same time, you know, being permissive, I wouldn't even call it permissive parenting. I think it's thoughtful parenting, because you're taking into account your child's developmental needs. Who's to say that's wrong, right? Like, we're always, you know, society's always kind of condemned the whole permissive parenting approach, but really, why don't we have a good long look at that and see, you know, you know, it's not all that bad in a lot of ways, so.
Well, I mean, it does also depend on the kid, and it depends on the parent, as we always say. Some people are, you know, better at different ways of doing things. And if you are, I mean, there are dangers in the world. There are things we need to be watching. Some people might say, oh, following your kid on social media is over controlling, let them have their fun. And I would be like, no, I want to know what they're doing. But then am I encouraging my kid, if they wanted to do something without me seeing, are they going to go find another way to do it? I mean, kids are going to find a way to mess up pretty much no matter what you do, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that kind of part of being kids?
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, maybe thoughtful parenting, because you don't just make assumptions that nothing's going to happen, you know, because you think about that stuff. You're like, okay, well, this could happen, that could happen. What are the risks? You know, have a conversation with your kid. I don't know. It depends on the child. Yeah. Maybe, you know, some kids need more boundaries than others. Who knows? But so just don't judge. Everyone's doing their thing.
It's as simple as that, people. Just don't judge. Okay?
Yeah. But then if some kid is harassing your kid on social media, are you not going to say, where are the parents? Why aren't they watching this? Why are they letting this kid have this freedom? You totally are.
I don't know. Maybe I've been around too many parents in my education career, but I just kind of assume that, you know, they're not going to do anything anyway. Even if you do. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
They're going to think they're right and their child's right, and that's just the way it is.
That's true.
Well, we'll just continue to complain about them here on the podcast.
Right.
And that is it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about post-kid career moves, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.